Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only Animation Legends, and yeah guys, today I am back with the next part of what if Naruto was neglected by his family and had the powers of darkside. So yeah guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the previous part of the series, and if you guys have not seen it, please guys check it out, you guys will definitely like it. And yeah guys, before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to the channel, or if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so, it would be very helpful to me, as I want to reach 20k subscribers in this channel, and you guys subscribing would be really appreciated. So without wasting any more of your time, let us start the video. Last time we left off as we saw that how Naruto in this time, after escaping from Konoha, decided to train himself, as Naruto has unlocked his power, and the seal that was holding back his powers previously was no longer in place, as Naruto defeated all the Ambu and decided to disappear from the shinobi world for the time being, so that he can become stronger and stronger. While on the other hand, after some time, Minato realized that Naruto has escaped from Konoha. Minato simply shook his head, thinking that his son did not have any will of fire. So Minato believed that Naruto was just throwing a tantrum, and he will teach him about the Villa Fire later. So he sent Ambu to bring Naruto back, believing that he was still in the village. Unknown to Minato, Naruto had already escaped, as the Ambus were able to find nothing but only some of the symbols of fighting outside the village. So they told this information to Minato. Minato was a bit surprised but told Ambu to search for him. After all, Naruto had no chakra, and Minato believed that Naruto did not have the potential of Menma and Mito, so he believed that Naruto would not be able to escape long, and sooner or later his chakra will be granted to Menma and Mito, who deserved it more in Minato's eyes nonetheless. While on the other hand, Naruto has finally completed his training, becoming so powerful that he has even controlled all the power of QB, as Naruto has unlocked almost all the power of darkside inside of him, even mutating QB, who had regained all 9 tails worth of his power. On top of that, because he was sealed inside of Naruto, his chakra got evolved, turning into something different, something powerful. At this point, he was at least 10 times more powerful than the 10 tails itself. On the other hand, Naruto finally decided to show himself to the shinobi world, as Naruto could sense that there was a civil war going on in the Mist Village. So Naruto finally arrived at the Mist Village, where Jagura was telling that how he's gonna take care of these bloodline users, but Naruto had enough of it, as Naruto simply destroyed Jagura and took control of the Mist Village for himself, even getting Netorumi as his woman. On top of that, Naruto finally decided to pay a visit to his previous home, Konoha, as Naruto decided to take part in the Chunin exam and finally arrived in Konoha, where Minato was still busy in his Hokage work. But when the Anbu reported that Naruto Uzumaki has returned, Minato was taken aback, but it was also a good thing. After all, Menma and Mito are unable to control more chakra after 4 tails. At fifth tail, they lose control, and Minato believes that it is because Menma and Mito require the chakra of Naruto so that they can become stronger and make Konoha even more powerful. As long as Naruto make minor sacrifices like handing over his chakra to Menma and Mito, Konoha would be powerful, and he would give some money to Naruto so that he can be a civilian in Konoha under the protection of the Villa Fire. Nothing will happen. Yes, while on the other hand, when Naruto finally arrived to the Hokage office, the third Hokage, Jiraiya Tsunade Kushina, decided to pressure Naruto so that he could hand over his chakra to Menma and Mito, so that Menma and Mito could become powerful, as Kushina told Naruto that she will give him some money after he become a servant in the Namikaze Hall for at least 5 years. After that, she will give him 100,000 Ryu so that he can make some thing of himself like a civilian, like ramen shop or something like that, as Kushina completely dismissed Naruto being a Miss Shinobi, saying that how Mist was just a third class village, nothing more than that, and she did not believe that Naruto had any talent as a shinobi. But Naruto told them that if Menma and Mito are able to defeat him in the Chunin exam, then he will accept all the terms of Minato and Kushina, as Minato believed that Naruto was just jealous and he did not had any will of fire, so Minato simply accepted that. So yeah guys, that was the last part of the series. So if you guys have not seen it, please guys check it out. You guys will definitely like it. So let us start the story from here. As Naruto finally left the Hokage office, as Naruto had a small smile on his face, just like he previously thought, these people have not changed whatsoever. They are equally narrow-minded and obsessive over that so-called prophecy of Jinchurikis. As Naruto simply scoffed at it. After all, this so-called destiny or whatever it is, Naruto do not care about it. His power was so much above it that even if there are 10 nine-tailed Jinchurikis, Naruto could take care of them. Even the so-called, the origin of chakra, the ten-tail, was nothing compared to Naruto's own power. So Naruto simply dismissed all of these people. While on the other hand, in the Hokage office, Kushina smirked at that. Well, Minato, it seemed that he had finally accepted it. As Minato sighed at that. Well, if only Naruto could understand our earnest effort and accept the will of fire, things would not come to this. Well, Kushina, Jiraiya-sensei, you have to train Menma and Mito and make sure that Naruto will learn that he has no ninja talent. After all, his chakra belonged to Menma and Mito, who will be able to use it for better purpose so that Konoha could become powerful. Naruto do not need to become a shinobi whatsoever. We will give him a house and some money and food. Other than that, he does not require anything. As Jiraiya nodded at that, if only Naruto understand the difficulties of the village, then things would not come to this, and the shinobi world can be saved by Menma and Mito. Naruto would also be protected by the village. As Jiraiya simply sighed at that, honestly, Naruto really have no will of fire. With that, Jiraiya disappeared from the room as Tsunade also scoffed at that and decided to leave. While on the other hand, Tadokage was simply smoking. Honestly, he did not want to say anything at this point. Maybe he has done a little bit too much about that will of fire and things like that. Even if you want to make other people make them sacrifice their well-being, you have to give them something in return. But Tadokage simply shook his head. He did not want to comment on it any longer. After all, Tadokage do not believe that Naruto would be able to win against Menma and Mito. Even if these people are completely brainwashed by his theories of the will of fire, they still have a lot of power. Minato, even though he is quite stupid, his tail is the yellow flash and his power is something else, and he is quite a genius in terms of ninjutsu, while Jiraiya is also a cage level shinobi, and Kushina is also pretty powerful at the level of elite jonin. So Tadokage do not believe that Naruto would be able to win this, and honestly he do not care about it. After all, he himself has done so much bad things in his life. While on the other hand, Naruto at this moment walking through Konoha, honestly, Naruto's power has increased, but Naruto requires a force that answer to him. At this moment, he has you can say, all the shinobi of Mist Village, but they were simply too weak, and the potential of the village is already exhausted by the civil war. And Naruto was unable to find any good people like Haku or Kimimaru were already taken by Orochimaru, so the potential of the Mist Village is already exhausted, and Naruto required truly unique powers. Not even people at the cage level would not caught the eye of Naruto, as Naruto sensed something, as Naruto looked in a specific direction and disappeared from the street, while the Ambu who were keeping an eye on Naruto were taken aback. They could not believe their eyes. They lost their target as they quickly decided to rush to the Hokage office and try to search for Naruto and report it to Minato at the same time. While on the other hand, Naruto has finally arrived. In front of him was a almost torn out mansion. As Naruto's eyes narrowed at that, it seemed that something was sealed inside of this place as Naruto finally stepped forward, but the paintings around the mansion started to move and come to life and rushes towards Naruto, trying to attack Naruto, but Naruto quickly dismissed it using his Omega Beam to destroy all of this. As Naruto's eyes narrowed at that Genjutsu that turned into reality itself. As Naruto looked around, it seemed that he was in a different place. As Naruto smirked at that and unleashed a bit of his aura as this whole Genjutsu started to shatter, and just like that, it shattered into pieces, and in front of him was a woman standing there, looking towards Naruto with fear in her eyes. As Naruto looked towards her, he could feel it. Inside of her was a immense power. It seemed that it was a genjutsu that could even distort reality, the power of reality itself. As Naruto's eyes narrowed at that, this kind of gift is really something else, as this girl was none other than Yakumo Kurama. As she looked towards Naruto, who are you and why have you entered my home? As Naruto looked towards her, I can feel it. Your body possesses a immense power, a power related to the power of reality. But it seemed that your physical body is unable to hold this kind of power. As Naruto walked towards her, but I can feel it inside of you. You want power and you want to become a shinobi, isn't that right? As Yakumo looked towards Naruto, a bit scared, but Naruto's aura was something else as she quickly calmed down. At that, as Naruto looked towards her with a smirk on his face. After all, he did not expect that in the shinobi world there would be power related to the reality. Reality stone. As Naruto looked towards Yakumo, as Yakumo looked towards Naruto, now calm down. So, how can you help me? As Naruto smirked at that, all you have to do is to join me. As long as you grab my hand, as Naruto pointed his hand towards Yakumo, I will grant you everything. I will grant you power, and I will give you all the resources you require to make yourself even more powerful. Trust me, there is not a single shinobi alive who has more special power than you in this shinobi world. The power so closely related to reality. Naruto do not believe that this kind of power could only be controlled by using genjutsus. After all, the shinobi kind is simply does not have other means to control this kind of power, but Naruto believes that he can control it, he can take it for himself, and he can also teach it to Yakumo, and maybe in the future, as he looked towards Yakumo, not bad looking, in the future, maybe his other progenies would have this power as well. As Naruto smirked at that, as Yakumo looked towards Naruto, she was scared, but she also wanted to become a shinobi. She was tied here for such a long time by the third Hokage. Afterward, even the fourth had decided not to release her, only sending some Ambu to keep an eye on her. But she has already used her Genjutsu to control the Ambu, so they will not give any information to the fourth or third Hokage. But her clan was already extinct. Even her uncle had died in mysterious circumstances, and she was all alone here as he looked towards Naruto, but finally moved her hand and Naruto grabbed her hand. As Naruto smirked at that, his eyes started to glow as Yakumo could feel it. A new power was entering her body. Her body was getting stronger. She could feel it, and inside of her, for a second, as the demon inside of her was shocked, it was trying to take control, but the moment Naruto entered here, as if his control over Yakumo was cut, and now in the mindscape of Yakumo, Naruto finally appeared and looked toward this so-called demon. As Naruto scoffed at that, this kind of pathetic being, just a minor demon trying to control the power of reality by taking possession of this small girl. As Naruto scoffed at it, as the demon lunges towards Naruto, you give her back to me. But Naruto released his Omega beams and completely destroyed the demon. Thus, Yakumo had complete control over her body once again. As Yakumo stood up from her chair, looking towards her body, she could feel it. Her immense power, her control over her genjutsu has also increased as Naruto smirked towards her and bringing her closer to him and hugging her as Yakumo was taken aback but blushed a little as Naruto smirked at that. From this day onward, you are my woman. With that, Naruto kissed her as Yakumo was also taken aback, but she could also feel the attraction. As now, let us have a small time skip. In this time, Naruto has already taken control of Yakumo and her reality power, as Naruto believed that he could control it in the future, while on the other hand, Minato and the third Hokage were none the wiser that such an immense power has fallen in the hands of Naruto, while on the other hand, the time has finally come for the Chunin exam to begin. In the first part of the Chunin exam, as Naruto casually walked inside of the Academy of Shinobi, as Naruto looked around to see the small genjutsu, but Naruto completely ignored it, as well as some of the Konoha Shinobi who were putting up a scene. And finally, Naruto was about to enter, but a voice stopped him. Hey, you! As Naruto looked back to see that it was none other than Menma, his so-called beloved older brother. As Menma smirked towards Naruto, so mom and dad were telling the truth, huh? It seemed that Mito, this loser, has finally decided to show himself. As Mito also stepped forward, looking towards Naruto with a smirk on her face, huh? I thought you had ran off and must have been killed off by some wild dog outside. As Mito burst into laughter. So, why are you back? So, have you decided to hand over your chakra to us? After all, you and I both know that we will use it far better than you could ever hope to be. After all, according to mom and dad, you do not have our potential and you're just a loser. So, it would be better for you to hand over your chakra to us. As Mito smirked at that, as Menma also was looking towards Naruto with an amused expression on his face. Well, Naruto, I will give you an advice. Just accept the offer of mom and serve us for 5 or 6 years. And tell you what, with the 100,000 Ryu mom had promised you, I will even give you 2,000 Ryu in secret. Tell you what, Mito, what do you say about it? As Mito burst into laughter at that. Well, as long as you also serve us quite well, I will also give you 2,000 Ryu. I'm not gonna not change you, little brother. You should accept the offer. This is a lot of money. As with that, Menma and Mito looked towards each other with evil smirks on their faces as Naruto simply looked towards these people, but Naruto could feel it, the power of Kyuubi inside of them. Honestly, this power is a lot weaker than he expected. Naruto raised an eyebrow at that, but the nine tails inside of him spoke up, my lord. They only have my chakra, while my chakra has also the ability to regenerate. But in the end of the day, it returned back to me, and I have already cut my connection with that chakra, so therefore it cannot grow with the same speed it used to, and sooner or later this chakra will exhaust itself, and they will not be able to use the true power of the QB that was previously sealed inside of them. As Naruto nodded at that, since the QB has already evolved, and in a way QB was no longer in this shinobi world, so therefore the chakra inside of them can also not regenerate at the previous speed, and sooner or later they will lose the power of the QB. As Naruto looked towards Menma and Mito as another figure stepped forward, this was none other than Sasuke Uchiha, the teammate of Menma and Mito. As he looked towards Naruto, so this is the loser brother of yours you told me about, who ran away because he was such a failure. As Sasuke looked towards Naruto, as Naruto simply ignored these people do not have much potential, even though Naruto could feel it. Inside of Menma and Sasuke, there is a special kind of chakra, ancient and powerful, but it is only chakra, and Naruto do not care about it. After all this chakra is gonna be turned into the life equation sooner or later. As Naruto smirked at that and completely ignored both Menma and Mito, who scowled at that as Naruto did not took the bait and fought against them. They could have used this opportunity to teach this loser a lesson. As Sasuke scoffed at that coward, but Naruto ignored all of them and finally arrived in the first part of the Chunin exam. As after some time, all the people has arrived and the first part of the Chunin exam quickly was completed. I'm gonna just skip over it. After all, it is not that important. And now they have finally arrived in the second part of the Chunin exam as Anko was looking towards all of these people. So you have already signed these forms. That is good. So it is time for you guys to enter in the second part of the Chunin exam. The photos of that. Try to survive, kiddos. Especially you. Only one Jenny from the mist village. It seems that the mist is really short of people as Anko burst into laughter. After that, as Naruto looked towards Anko, he could not sense anything special. Honestly, Naruto do not care much about the women and things like that. After all, he's not looking for a harem. Both Metrumi and Yakumo were useful to him, so Naruto brought them under his wing. Other than that, Naruto has little interest in these things as Naruto simply ignored her. After all, she was just a weakling, and sooner or later, her chakra will be useful for him to make the life equation complete. As finally Anko realizing that her mission is not gonna be completed. After all, Minato had told the shinobi to try to provoke Naruto to try to get some information about him. But Naruto simply ignored her as Shikumo as Anko frowned at that but decided not to say anything. Alright, the second part begins. With that, all of them finally decided to enter in the Chunin exam. As Naruto finally entered in the forest of that, Naruto could feel it, the life energy inside of it. It seemed that this forest was purposely created. As Naruto thought about it, it must have been created by the first Hokage as a part of as a training ground for Jonin and Chunin. As Naruto simply nodded at that and disappeared in the second part of the Chunin exam, while on the other hand, Orochimaru, who has also arrived in the forest of that, was looking for Sasuke. Also noticed that Naruto was also walking alone as Orochimaru raised an eyebrow at that. He had little interest in the third son of Minato, but it seemed that the kid is alone. Maybe he would have a bit of fun. After all, he needs to give some time for Sasuke to prove himself. After all, many people might think that while Orochimaru is still targeting Sasuke. So I just want to comment on that. Itachi was already out of league for Orochimaru, and Orochimaru believed that Sasuke, as a little brother of Itachi, still had potential comparable to Itachi. So therefore, even if Uchiha clan is not exterminated, Orochimaru will still target Sasuke after Shisui and Itachi are far out of his league, and Orochimaru is not gonna target a middle-aged man like Fugaku. That would be even more difficult. So that is that. But Orochimaru, noticing that Naruto was alone, decided to attack him as Naruto looked towards the location where a gigantic snake appeared trying to eat Naruto. But Naruto simply scoffed at that as Naruto pointed towards the snake. A huge red energy was released from his hand. turning Snake into nothingness as Orochimaru's eyes widen at that as he quickly used his sword to cut the belly of the snake and appeared outside of it. After all, his danger sensing was telling him that he would die if he did not escape the snake. And just when he escaped the belly of the snake turned into pure ash and turned into nothingness. As Naruto looked towards Orochimaru with his eyebrow at that, he could feel it, the soul of this being. It seemed that he has fragmented his soul. As Naruto's eyes narrowed at that, the talent, Naruto required talent for the domination of the multiverse, and Naruto, these kind of people, Naruto like. As Naruto looked towards Orochimaru, if I'm not mistaken, you're one of the son in Orochimaru. Isn't that right? As Orochimaru looked towards Naruto in utter shock, that kind of attack, he has never sensed anything like that, and he's feeling, but still, his senses were telling him that he should escape from here, otherwise he will definitely die. But more a crazy smile finally appeared on the face of Orochimaru. If only he could get his hand on Naruto, that kind of jutsu, he wanted to know how Naruto did it. As Orochimaru looked towards Naruto, well, Naruto-kun, if I'm not mistaken, you're also the son of Hokage, but all alone, even as a Miss Shinobi, I suppose your father would not be happy about it. As Naruto simply looked towards Orochimaru, tell you what, Orochimaru, I like you. As Orochimaru raised an eyebrow at that, I like talented people, and I must say that from what I'm sensing from you, what you're able to achieve with your soul, I must say that you seem to be a talent. As Orochimaru's eyes widened at that, what he has done with his soul, only Orochimaru himself know about the secret of the cursed seals. Even Kabuto did not know complete information about the cursed seals. As Orochimaru's eyes narrowed at that, what are you talking about? I do not know anything about it. As Naruto smirked at that, if you say so, tell you what, I will give you an opportunity. Join me and serve me, and I will show you the reality of this universe. Isn't that what you want? To know all the secret of the universe, join me and I will grant your wish. As Orochimaru smirked at that, it seemed that you know a lot about me, but it doesn't matter. As long as I capture you, I will know everything you know. With that, Orochimaru brought out his Kusanagi sword and lunges towards Naruto. As Naruto sighed at that, as Naruto moved a single finger as a gigantic red Rasengan was formed. It was so gigantic that Orochimaru could look into the sky and a shadow was coming towards him as Naruto casually threw the Rasengan with blinding speed. That Orochimaru quickly decided to summon the three gates of the first Hokage technique to stop the Bijudama, or rather this gigantic Rasengan in front of him. But to Orochimaru's utter shock, this Rasengan was not normal. The moment it touched the gate, it turned it into nothingness, and finally the second stage, and finally the third gate. As Orochimaru cursed under his breath but quickly decided to use his sunshine technique to disappear from the place as a gigantic explosion took place, turning all the trees around them into nothingness. As Naruto smirked at that, as Orochimaru appeared behind Naruto ready to stab Naruto with his Kusanagi sword, but this time Naruto did not move. The moment Kusanagi sword touched Naruto, it shattered into pieces. As Orochimaru could not believe his eyes. This sword was made with the toughest material in the entirety of the shinobi world. No one can cut the Kusanagi sword, and now it was shattered with mere flesh and blood. As Naruto looked towards Orochimaru, his eyes glowing red as a beam of energy appeared and slamming into the arm of Orochimaru. As Orochimaru screamed at that, his arm turned into dust. Next time, it will be your head. This is your last opportunity, Orochimaru. While I admire talent, but if they do not serve me, then they do not need to exist whatsoever. As Orochimaru took a step back in utter fear as Naruto was looking towards Orochimaru. As Orochimaru said, well, Naruto-kun, you are interesting, and one day I will capture you, but for now, I must take my... But before he could complete his sentence, time is up. As Naruto was in front of Orochimaru, as Naruto grabbed Orochimaru, his power surging inside the body of Orochimaru, who was taken aback. What is going on here? As Orochimaru tried to channel his chakra to escape Naruto, but the moment he tried it, something stopped it as if a new energy was entering his body. As Orochimaru screamed in pure pain and agony, as Naruto looked directly in the eyes of Orochimaru, I gave you the opportunity, but it seemed that you do not require it. But then, again, who told me to admire talent? So, if you do not want to join me, at your own will, then I will make you. With that, Naruto started to release his power, and we started to invade the mind and soul of Orochimaru as Orochimaru screamed at that as Naruto was changing the soul of Orochimaru, which was already fragmented and weak. As Orochimaru, after 10 minutes of screaming, finally calmed down as Naruto has already taken control of the very soul of Orochimaru using his powers as Naruto released the snake as he finally stood up, looking towards Naruto with awe and almost like a worship in his eyes as Orochimaru knelt on one knee. My lord, what are your commands? As Naruto smirked at that. He required talents for the domination of the multiverse, and Orochimaru is just one. In the start, tell me your plan. Why are you here? As Orochimaru started to explain about his plan to murder his beloved sensei, the third Hokage, as Naruto smirked at that. Well, it seemed that the Chunin exam are gonna be interesting. Naruto looked towards Orochimaru. Well, these are my orders. Do that. As Orochimaru simply nodded at that and disappeared from the place as Naruto looked into the sky. It seemed that the things are gonna get interesting. As Naruto finally arrived at the end of the tower, as many people were surprised that Naruto appeared so early as Naruto had already had both of the scrolls as Naruto casually threw them towards the Jonin that was stationed there, who opened them to explain the rules to Naruto, and afterward Naruto decided to have a bit of rest while on the other hand Naruto senseis were already scouting all the Konoha. Naruto wanted to see if there are other talents which Naruto can use, but it seemed that the shinobi world do not have that much talents. But Naruto simply shook his head as Naruto sighed. Well, it seemed that he needed to give order to Orochimaru. Maybe Orochimaru would be able to form a team that Naruto can use in the future. After all, even the dark side needed an army for many things he wanted to achieve, and Naruto also required many talents for the domination of the multiverse. So therefore, he has to wait some time. Otherwise, he would have simply taken care of the shinobi world. While on the other hand, Naruto's ambition do not lie in the shinobi world whatsoever. While on the other hand, Konoha, as in the Hokage office, Minato looked toward the report and with a frown on his face. It seemed that Naruto was stronger than he expected. As Minato sighed, why couldn't Naruto understand his efforts? Why couldn't he understand the difficulties of the village? The village require powerful shinobi, and Benma and Mito are the hope of the future. They're the children of destiny. Well, at least one of them is. And for that, for them to become stronger, they require a small sacrifice from Naruto. So why couldn't he just hand over his chakra to Benma and Mito so that they can become stronger? And Naruto do not require to be a shinobi. They will give him food and shelter. What more does Naruto want? As Minato sighed at that and quickly shook his head. But he cannot accept it. After all, as the Hokage, he needs to protect the village even more than his own family. After all, the village is the above the family, as Minato thought in his mind, with fervor in his eyes. That is the will of fire. As Minato quickly summoned an Ambu and gave him some orders as the Ambu disappeared. Do not blame me, Naruto. This is all for Konoha, for the will of fire. And you will understand my efforts one day. As Minato smiled at that, looking outside the window towards his beloved village. While on the other hand, in the room, Naruto could sense it. Some shinobi has appeared in his room, and it seemed that they seemed to be poisoning the air. But Naruto simply scoffed at it. It seemed that this small neurotoxin will make his chakra more sloggy. He would not be able to fight at his full strength. If he was a ordinary person, but Naruto simply had a smirk on his face and decided not to take action for now. After all, he still want to play this little game. As Ambo disappeared from his room, thinking that he was unconscious, as the next day, finally Minato has arrived. It was time for the preliminary exams. As Minato looked around, as Minato looked towards all the genin that were present there, and his eyes finally met with that of Naruto, and a smile almost appeared on Minato's face, but it also disappeared at the same time. Minato still believed that Naruto was infected with the neurotoxin, so therefore he would not be able to fight at his full power and would be able to would be taken down. After all, Minato was still a shinobi, and the first creed of a shinobi is not to underestimate anyone. So, even if Naruto had tiniest chance of beating Madman Minato had to eliminate him right here and right now. so that his chakra could be handed over to Madman Mito for better use for the good of Konoha, for the will of fire. Minato thought in his mind, and Minato gave a small speech about the unity of the shinobi world and about the will of fire. And finally, the preliminary exam began as the battle started to went on, and finally, it was time for our protagonist to take the stage as the symbol finally appeared. Two names appeared side by side, shocking everyone there. Naruto Uzumaki versus Menma Uzumaki Namikaze. These words shocked everyone as even Minato raised an eyebrow at that. He did not give that order, so why did these names appear beside each other as Minato looked towards one of the Chunin who was in charge of manipulating the whole poll. As the Chunin was also panicking, he obviously gave different orders. So why these names appeared beside each other, unknown to all of them. Naruto has given a signal, and Orochimaru has manipulated the poll as Naruto finally entered the stage. As Menma smirked at that. Do not worry, mom. I will take care of this loser right now. As Kushina smirked at that, as Kushina still believed that Naruto did not have the potential to become a shinobi, and therefore he was unsuited, so he should just hand over his chakra to Manma and Mito. As Kushina smirked at that, do not worry, Manma, just beat him at your own wish. After all, he required a lesson so he could understand that his life belonged to us and I should be the only one dictating his life and he should just follow our orders. As Kushina smirked towards Menma, who simply nodded and finally jumped inside the stadium, looking towards Naruto. As Menma smirked at that, well, little brother, so are you ready for your lesson? Do not worry, as your older brother, will definitely teach you the true meaning of love. As Menma smirked at that, as Naruto looked towards Menma with a small smile on his face. Unknown to Menma, Naruto was not looking towards Menma, but rather inside of Menma, three types of chakra exist. One was that of the Cubis chakra. One belonged to Menma. There was another chakra, a lot more powerful than the chakra of the nine tails and the chakra of Menma deep inside of him. And Naruto at the moment he did it because he wanted to take that chakra for himself. After all, Naruto has new plans, and for that, this special kind of chakra, Naruto wanted to see what it truly was, as Naruto believed that this chakra was far closer to the life equation than he previously thought. So therefore, Naruto need this chakra right now. As Naruto looked towards Menma, well then, older brother, why don't you show me what you're truly capable of? As Menma burst into laughter. Ha! Years ago, I told you, Naruto. I still remember how you used to look outside of your window, trying to see how we were training, and it was so pathetic when you tried to make hand signs to make a clone. I still remember it. After all, we used to laugh at it, how you made so pathetic clones, even unable to make clones for yourself. You were rather pathetic, I must say that. As Myanmar stepped forward, and I still know when you asked our parents to train you and how they told you that you did not have the potential of me and Mito. So why didn't you just die outside Naruto as a loser? You're just a shame to the family. So did you even come back? Couldn't you have accepted the father's will of fire and handed over your chakra for us? After all, we would use it for better uses. After all, inside of you, it is just being wasted. So it is time, little brother, that you hand over your chakra to me. With that, Menma looked towards the Chonin, who quickly said, Alright, the match begins now. With that, the Chonin stepped away as Menma disappeared with blinding speed as he appeared in front of Naruto. As Menma face slammed into the face of Naruto, sending him flying as Menma burst into laughter. Foolish little brother. With that, Menma make 10 clones as all of them made gigantic Rasengan and lunges towards Naruto as all the Rasengan slammed into Naruto, sending him flying into the air as Menma was laughing as he started to go through hand sign, fast style, wind style as both techniques combined together and rushes towards Naruto as a gigantic White Dragon almost engulfed Naruto, but unknown to everyone, Naruto had a small smile on his face. Honestly, these attacks were nothing more than tickles to him, as a huge gigantic explosion took place, as the smoke was everywhere, as Minato had a smile on his face, as Minato still believed that Naruto is unable to use his chakra, so therefore he would only have to take the beating, while on the other hand, Kushina burst into laughter. I knew it. He simply did not have the potential. What a loser. As while on the other hand, the dust finally settled down. But to the shock of everyone, From the dust, one figure was walking casually as if the person who was attacked with A-rank techniques like the Rasengan and a borderline S-rank technique like the Fire Dragon was not him, as Naruto casually dusted himself and looked towards Menma, who was looking towards Naruto with a bit of surprise on his face, but not that much. After all, Menma still had confident in himself. Well, I must say that whatever that defensive technique is, it must be something. You must have done quite a lot of things outside to get your hand on such a technique, but do not think that you can use it extensively, Naruto. Such forbidden techniques that would require too much chakra, but you're not the Jinchuriki of the 90s. Now, are you? You only have a pathetic, miserable soul extracted from his chakra and nothing more than a burden. So you cannot keep that technique up forever, little brother. As Naruto looked towards Menma, as who was laughing like a maniac, as Naruto simply sighed inwardly. Well, if you think that this is the limit of my power, so let's see if your theory of a defensive technique truly holds up, older brother. With that, Naruto disappeared from the place as Menma also disappeared as both of them met in the center. Their fists clashes with each other as Menma bursts into laughter. Is that all? As Menma started to channel the power of the nine tails as a tail appeared beside Menma and tried to lunge towards Naruto, but Naruto simply jumped over it as Menma opened his mouth, making a small Bijudama and released it towards Naruto, as Naruto casually slapped it away like it was nothing, making a small explosion. But Minato quickly used a barrier that teleported the Bijudama away and even made a space-time barrier so that any attacks of Menma and Mito would not be able to reach the spectators as Minato did it in seconds and disappeared once again and came to his Hokage's seed, shocking everyone while inside of the barrier Menma was releasing attacks after attacks, even now channeling two tails worth of chakra as Naruto was casually dodging all of these attacks like they were nothing. At the moment, he was just simply having fun, wanted to see the limits of this Jinchuriki. As Menma burst into laughter, let me show you the true extent of my power, multi-shadow clone jutsu. With that, hundreds of shadow clones appeared as all of them started to make gigantic Rosengans and rushes towards Naruto as Naruto scoffed at it as Naruto's eyes started to glow. With that, a laser beam appeared from his eyes, Omega Beam. With that, it started to go through all the shadow clones. Within seconds, all the shadow clones turned into ash as Menma frowned at that. Something was off. His chakra, it did not return back to him. The memories, but also did not came back as Menma frowned at that. Now looking towards Naruto with a bit more of caution as he said, whatever that technique is, you hand it over to me. With that, Menma started to channel a lot of his power, making a gigantic Rasengan, and wind started to appear beside the Rasengan, and a gigantic Rasen Shuriken was formed. Now, I will give you only one last opportunity, Naruto. Hand over whatever that I-beam technique you used previously and accept your defeat, and I will let you go. After all, I still require your chakra, and if I use this technique, your chakra pathways will be forever destroyed, and you will not be able to generate chakra. So this is your last opportunity, Naruto. As Naruto looked towards Menma. Well, if we are really trying to see who can make bigger balls, then let me try something similar. With that, Naruto moved his hand as a gigantic Rasengan started to form, and a reddish energy started to surround the gigantic Rasengan, making a Rasen Shuriken. But it was not a nature transformation of chakra, but rather Naruto's Omega Beam was surrounding the Rasengan. And this Rasengan was not made up of chakra, it was made up of Naruto's immense energy. As Naruto smirked at that, as Menma gritted his teeth and started to channel more and more chakra as the third tail appeared behind Menma, and Menma screamed, "Now die!" With that, Menma released his Rasen Shuriken towards Naruto. As Naruto also released his attack as both of the attacks met in the center, while on the other hand, in the sidelines, Minato frowned at that. What is going on here? From the reports he has gotten from the Ambo, the neurotoxin should have taken effect long ago, and Naruto should not be able to channel this kind of chakra. And what is this chakra to begin with? That technique, that I-beam technique, is shattered all the shadow clones. Minato know about it. After all, no matter what kind of damage any shadow clone take, it just turned into smoke and the chocolate returns. But looking around the place, there were dust everywhere. The shadow clones did not simply disappear, they turned into dust as Minato frowned at that. His genius mind was running through the scenario. It seemed that this technique is far too dangerous as Minato frowned at that, while on the other hand, Kushina could not believe her eyes. Why? Why is that loser able to push Menma so far? It should not be like this. Menma is the true child of destiny. After all, Kushina still favored Menma over Mito, while on the other hand, Mito was also looking towards the battle with a frown on her face. She could not accept it. Why? Why is that Naruto was able to match Menma, who was using three-tailed state? Menma, as much as she hate to say it, Menma was stronger than her. So why is that Naruto was beating him as Naruto simply scoffed at both of the attacks meeting. Within seconds, Menma's attack was turned into nothingness as the gigantic Rasen Shuriken was coming towards Menma, who was taken aback as Menma screamed at top of his lung, "Enough! As you will not humiliate me like this, you damn loser!" As with that, the fourth tail finally appeared behind Menma as Menma's whole body started to change as Menma opened his mouth and gigantic Bijodama was being formed as Minato frowned at that. He has to stop this as Minato quickly channeled his chakra as it disappeared as the space-time barrier appeared between the Rasen Shuriken and the Bijodama of Menma as both of the attacks were teleported away as Naruto's eyes narrowed at that as Minato appeared behind Menma and using his sealing technique to suppress the chakra of the fourth tail as Menma was losing control, trying to enter the fifth tail, but the fifth tail was being not formed. It was like a half tail appearing behind Menma. Other than that, Menma, who was screaming, was unable to quickly form the five tails. As Minato quickly suppressed the chakra of Menma, who was now unconscious, as Minato frowned at that, as a Jonin appeared beside Hokage, as Minato said, looked towards Naruto with a bit complicated expression on his face. Why? Why is this happening? Naruto should have just simply handed over his chakra to Menma Mito so that Menma Mito could complete their true transformation. But now, looking towards unconscious form of Menma and Naruto, who did not even have a scratch on his body, could it be that he was wrong? But Minato quickly shook his head. If Naruto had talent, then it should be used for Konoha, not for Kiri. It seemed that he needs to have a serious talk with Naruto. As Minato spoke up, this match, because of the loss of control of the Jinchuriki, is a tie. We will settle this in the finals. As Minato scoffed at it, as many of the Jonins looked towards each other, while the other villages Jonin like Baki was about to say something, but Minato gave him a sharp look. As the Baki finally decided to shut up, the Hokage just wanted to show his children in the final so that they can get more funding, but they have plans to attack Konoha, so it doesn't matter to him. So Baki did not say anything. Minato said, "Alright, now let us get back to the next step." With that, Minato disappeared with Menma and brought him to Tsunade in the hospital and once again disappeared and appeared in the preliminary exam. While on the other hand, Naruto has already walked away as Minato's mind was running through the scenario what he has to do for the more prosperity of Konoha so that the Will of Fire could be accepted by everyone. It seemed that he needs to talk with Third Hokage so that he can impart the Will of Fire to Naruto as soon as possible. But hey guys, I'm gonna end this part here. So hopefully you guys liked it. For the next part, the like goal is gonna be 100 likes and 20 comments, especially comments. So yeah guys, please make some comments in the comment section because that give us a lot of motivation that people are watching our video. So if you guys have watched my video, please give me some comments in the comment section. That would be a lot way a good way of motivation. So yeah guys, see you soon. Peace.